on a Sunday afternoon. Really couldn't get away too soon. No, can't imagine anything that's better. The world is ours whenever we're together. There ain't no place I'd like to be except for grooving down a crowded avenue, doing anything we like to do. There's always lots of things that we can see. We can be anyone we'd like to be. All those happy people we could meet, just grooving everywhere on a Sunday afternoon. Really couldn't get away too soon. No, 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 no.
This is how you hit the higher notes, by the way. Just give it a little bit of that. Nice. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to those of you joining us on the Love Stream on Labor Day weekend. Woohoo! No work tomorrow. All right. Yeah, that means we can party tonight. Too bad it's not the opening weekend of the NFL. That's next week when the Seahawks beat the LA Rams at home. Oh, yeah, did I come out? Oh, I'm so sorry. All right, so please help me welcome our musical inspiration, the wonderful Teresa James.
Thank you.
And our assistant minister, the also wonderful Reverend Nancy Woods. And give yourselves a hand. You made it to church on Sunday. Hallelujah. I shouldn't have had that second cup of coffee. I can see that right now. So so those of you joining us for the first time online, welcome. My name is Reverend Dr. Michael McMorrow. I'm the Senior Minister, Spiritual Director, but believe it or not, here at the Center for Spiritual Living, a place where we welcome all who practice their beliefs in faith and love. So we're going to start with our opening ceremony that we like to do here. So we're going to just take a deep, conscious breath together as we bring down the lights in the house and just allow ourselves to exhale and inhale, to be fully present into this eternal now moment as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. Now, fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this morning. So as Reverend Nancy lights the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. The seventh candle we light for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. The 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space we hold for them here in our sanctuary, within our online community, and of course, within our own hearts. And as Reverend Nancy lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
There is one flame that burns in our hearts. There is one light that shines through our love. We light this flame with faith. We find this light within our own soul. There is one flame, one light within.
The recognition of this light, that light of the divine within each one of us. To understand and to know that there is a power in this universe that is all-knowing, absolute essence of everything that is in existence and that which doesn't exist. The allness of the universe. In our acknowledgement of it, we are acknowledging ourselves. To know and to understand that we are Spirit's means of experiencing this plane of action. Is know the wonder of who and what we are. To know that each and every moment is the gift of newness. As we allow ourselves today to step into this hour together, to bring about an expanded understanding of the truth of who and what we are and how we can step into life moment by moment in a greater way. Know that every aspect of things that unfold and happen in this hour enriches each and every one of us in our understanding of our own greatness. As the words and the music, the energy of sharing with each other, all of this takes place in a loving atmosphere in which we are able to appreciate, knowing that God is not only in us, through us, and as us, but it is all around us. And as we open our hearts and minds and being to see it, to feel it, and to know it, the joy of being alive comes fully into expression in a greater, more dynamic way. Yes. It's a great moment. And we are grateful to be here and to know it and to understand it. And in this awareness, in this understanding, we thank that Lord that's saying yes to the word. And we join together in declaring these truths as already so. As we say, And so it is. Good morning. It's a good morning, you guys. I'm glad to be back with my family here. My spiritual family is the one I travel with. The other family I go visit. But life is saying yes to me again. You know, the growth and awareness that we experience on this spiritual path that we all on, sometimes it says, woo, and then sometimes it says, woo. So I had some of those moments while I was away with y'all, but I had some of those real high ones and some of those kind of mediocre. I didn't get as low as I used to. I know that the infinite intelligence is always there, so I can always turn around and look at it. So it's a blessing. So what I choose to share with you today is that we are blessed, really blessed, to have a family, a community, in which you can look at everybody and know, oh, we on this path, we're doing this, we're on this religious journey together. The richness of knowing who the truth of that the infinite intelligence is really guiding and directing our every step. And even the ones where we step off the sidewalk, we always got that awareness that we can step right back on and keep going. And to understand and know that this power, this presence, is so powerful that it has brought us together in this moment and in this energy and in this understanding to allow us to not only share and the message that is delivered, or the songs that are sung, and the service that is being offered, and the greetings that we give each other. But to know that each one of us brings to this moment the power of the divine in all its glory and all its beauty. This is the richness of this moment. To know and to understand that we are willing to step into that role of being a light for all humankind as we learn to share and to enjoy and appreciate the idea that spirit is in all things. And as we live and do what we do, whatever we are doing, in a way that we know that this is the wondrous moment in which spirit has stepped into expression. We don't have to worry about it. Just being ourselves is the greatest thing we could ever do. So we can let go, let it be. And I know we grab on every once in a while, but that's all right too. We can, being ourselves, we can forgive ourselves for doing that. So I know and understand that Spirit has a lot of faces. I'm looking at them. That's why when I look at a tree and I realize that every leaf is unique, I know that every individual here is unique and has a gift. And if I open my heart, I get to experience it. So I welcome each and every opportunity to say hello to God in person, consciously and openly. And I think that we are becoming more and more an example of a community that knows how to love each other. And that's a wondrous example for society today. Thank y'all.
Brother, I need to talk to you. And it might sound strange, and you'll probably think I'm crazy and I've lost my mind. Well, okay. I'm amazing. I'm incredible. I'm a miracle, a dream come true. I'm marvelous. I'm beautiful, but guess what? So are you. People, it's becoming clear. I can feel it down in my soul. I know that I am you and you are me. Uh-oh. Yeah, and I'm grateful for the simple things that we take for granted every day. Listen, I can walk, I can talk, I can use my mind. Well, okay. I'm amazing. I'm incredible. I'm a miracle, a dream come true. Oh, marvelous, I'm beautiful, but guess what? So are you. Yeah, but that don't mean that we're better than anyone or anything. It's a call to come together and accept responsibility and be amazing, be incredible. You're a miracle, a dream come true. We're marvelous and beautiful. Yeah, guess what? So are you. Just be amazing.
Isn't she fabulous?
Oh, wow, thank you. I'm amazing, what can I say?
And beautiful. Yeah, I agree. I'm supposed to do an announcement. Okay.
So, Rev, check out that cool graphic.
Oh. See, I told you, those guys back there are awesome. Announcements for the week, September the 3rd. Happy Labor Day. 2-minute tune-up. If you want one, you can have one with the practitioners that are here today. I think we have a few in the audience. And if you look around, there's going to be some people raising their hands. And tap one of them on the shoulder and ask for, and get a 2-minute tune-up. Reverend Dr. Mike McMorrow is going to have a class. And I would invite you, I think I'm going to check him out too, so I'm going to invite you all to, to join the rest of us that are going to do it on Tuesday, September the 5th, from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Now, Change your thinking, change your mind. They tell us that over and over again, but we're still trying to figure out how to do it. So it's always good to get another lesson in it. And Reverend Nicole is doing Sangha starting September 13th. She's going to do 7,000 Ways to Listen. Ooh, that should be interesting. So join her, and if you have any questions about it, Reverend Nicole is sitting right back there with a hand up now. What's the next one up? Young adult program. We have a young adult program, and that is today at 11:45 with Reverend Nicole. Sangha we did. Oh, the Fall Festival. We are going to have what we call Fall Gratitude Festival. And that's going to be on November the 4th. And we're going to have food and music and dancing and just be happy together. It's fun. It is fun to be happy together. And join us. And this is our grand announcement. And she's going to be at the Write-Off Room, September 15th, 8 p.m. And I had the pleasure of listening to the music already, some of it. It's awesome. It's awesome. And you have to join us. I love that picture. Road trip. So any of you want to join me as we're going to join her on the 15th. We love it. And that's all. Okay, so Declaration of Principles. Do you want to stand and say this with me? Including you online, you can stand and say it with us too. We believe in one universal spirit manifesting through all, natural and incarnated in us. We believe that the universal spirit is personal too and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe that our faith operates upon a law of mind, which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life, in the immortality of the individual soul, forever expanding. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the giveness of life to all.
Sorry, let's start with I. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and to you are, and all you do, blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and to you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world.
You got a month to learn that one, by the way. Not you, them. So I'm using technology today. I got one of these them iPad things. The only problem with that is that it only shows a paragraph at a time, which gives me space to add like 3 more paragraphs in between the ones I've written. So, I know. So you can start napping now if you need to. So, happy Labor Day. And just so you know, if you're looking for a novel way to celebrate Labor Day this year, please buy Blue Collar Spirituality, Finding a God That Works, authored by yours truly. If you already have it, maybe you could read it this weekend. And if you've already read it, maybe you could post a review on Amazon for the old Rev. If you do, I'll be your friend. So I posted this because if any of you are considering writing a book and releasing a book, I would encourage you to not do it in the middle of COVID because it really does impact book sales. So this is like 2 years old now, I think. Anyway, now I have to say this is more than a thinly disguised book promo. It is very thinly disguised, right? So for this book lays out in less than 60 pages a guided discovery to finding a power that is greater than we are alone, that can help us navigate the challenges of daily living in plain language. So if cuss words bother you, you might not want to buy this book. Now, why would working people want to do that? Now, the teaching of the science of mind to blue-collar workers, really workers of all stripes, can be a valuable endeavor to help us realize and to enhance our performance, our well-being, and our overall job satisfaction. And then here are 5 ways that the science of mind can change lives from a blue-collar perspective. So 1, that blue-collar workers often face physically demanding and sometimes hazardous work environments. So if anybody goes around saying, oh, my aching back, this book's for you. All right, safety and awareness. To emphasize the importance of mental focus and maintaining safety on the job. So if you know anyone who's had a job working with power tools or equipment, or even dealing with hot plates or working behind a stove or having a pair of scissors while they're giving you therapy in their hands. Also, yeah. Well, hairdressers are totally psychologists, right? Am I right? Yeah, like bartenders, right? Only they're hopefully sober. All right, So also the way the teaching can help is in motivation and goal setting, that workers set and achieve personal and professional goals through teamwork and communication. So to teach the psychology of effective communication beyond, F-bombs and so forth, and teamwork. So in blue-collar, I thought that would get a better laugh than it did. In blue-collar industries, I guess you've never been on a construction site is what that really means. So for collaboration and effective communication, for they are crucial for productivity and safety, and then adaptability and problem solving. To equip workers with problem-solving skills by teaching how to think critically and adapt to changing circumstances, not just on a psychological basis, but through incorporating spiritual practices. And remember that there's a spiritual principle back behind all things. So now I have to say, I didn't write this. You know who wrote this? ChatGPT. Yeah. So the thing that I like about that, so if you haven't used this as a tool yet, it does a really great job of summarizing. And so I asked it to redo it from, so ChatGPT, please read my book and then give me a summary. Well, it can't because this database is based on before the summer of 2021. So this information is not in there yet. But what I love is that it really does summarize nicely, and it's kind of a validation, I suppose, because this was precisely what I was shooting for when I wrote the book. Because the idea of really finding a God that works for all of us, regardless of whether we have a profession, and we're all, if we're getting paid for the work we do, we're all professionals. But the classical professions, and that we can find the divine in ordinary, so-called ordinary living. And so this is really the point of the book, really to try and shift and lift the tendency of thought of working people to understand that there is spiritual power available to us and that we do not have to stay stuck in whatever it is has us feeling stymied in some way. So, you can even learn how to use an iPad when you have to because your printer goes out. There's all kinds of skills you can learn on the fly. Now, mind you, these are all skills that people already possess and often see easily in others, but often cannot identify within themselves, right? That these challenges, these setbacks can sometimes keep us feeling debilitated in some way. Now, this brings us to our talk title today, which for me is perhaps the most cringe-worthy talk title of ever, which is, I love myself so much, right? And I thought, oh gosh, it's like nails on the chalkboard. That's why I put the question mark behind it. I love myself so much. So go ahead and say this, everybody. I love myself so much. Oh, I like that. Let's do it the way the last people did it. Okay, I love myself. Now, how does that feel? Yeah, how does that feel? Pretty good? All right. So now I'm going to invite you to hug yourself. And if you have someone sitting next to you, say to them, I love myself so much. Now, how does that feel? Does it feel authentic? Does it feel real? All right, good. All right, so now get comfortable. Close your eyes. You at home as well. Yes, thank you, unless you're driving. So close your eyes. Picture yourself in front of a full-length mirror. And hug yourself. And now say, I love myself so much. Now, I have to say that doesn't sound as enthusiastic as the other two tries. Am I right? Yeah. So why is that, right? I love myself so much in the privacy, right? When we're in the privacy of our own home. So let me ask you this, did any judgments around, creep in, right? Body size, age, anything you can't explain away with fluorescent lighting? Now think back. Hey, men are even more vain than women, trust me. So now think back to when you were an adolescent with this idea, or in high school, or in your 20s, and just take that narrative through your life. And do you see a familiar thread in that at all? Even with all of our accomplishments, even with people who have loved us and whom we have loved, and the times that we've been held in high esteem, right? And still there's that little twinge. Or maybe it's just me. So why this exercise? To point to the way subtle and obvious of how our own self-judgments get in the way of fully expressing the creative impulse of life. At the very first step to changing our thinking, to change our life, is to attempt to more fully realize, one day at a time, sometimes one moment at a time, our interconnectedness with life. And that love is the vehicle by which we experience and express this understanding and realization. So Marianne Williamson wrote this. It's been some time now that she wrote this, that love is the essential existential fact. It is our ultimate reality and our purpose on earth. To be consciously aware of it, to experience love in ourselves and others, is the meaning of life. So this, of course, has been around for a while. I think she may have written it in the late 80s. I became aware of it in the early 90s. And I remember thinking at the time, what a bunch of hogwash. right? Because the world, after all, is about acquisition and power. That's what the world is telling us. But then we get some time under the belt. We get some life under the belt. And really what we come to see, that these are but two thirsts that can never be quenched, because there's always a need for more that's driving it. We come to see that it is ego-driven in that our secular experience is constantly separating the world into winners and losers. And to use the words of Don Miguel Ruiz, that we are domesticated. We become domesticated in comparing ourselves with each other. Now, sometimes this can be motivating, right? So, if you ever ran track or in PE or even for your school or whatever, and you always get a better time if you run with better runners, right? Am I right, Beverly? Yes. So if you're trying to get to 10.4 in the 100 yard, or if you're really good, the 100 meter, right? You want to run with the fastest people you can. So in this way, comparing can be a good thing. It can be motivating. But if we're doing this comparing thing in life generally, it's really difficult to compare without eventually getting into self-judgment and criticism. And this is not helpful. And I have to say, I think everybody has this. Some are better at camouflaging it, but everybody has the chink in the armor. So if you're judging yourself with whatever that is, I would just invite you to let go of that. Because what this means is that holding on to grudges, this is Holmes. Oh, I'm sorry. That Holmes taught that we are part of the same universal consciousness. What does that mean? That there's only one thing happening here. The one mind of the Spirit that's both impressing and expressing itself in, through, and as all of life, including in, through, and as your life. In fact, you are not a demonstration of original sin, but rather of original blessing. That the Spirit created you in its image and likeness. Yes, you, the one who's saying in your mind right now, I don't know about me. Yes, you. So that it may fully express itself by means of your life and by means of mine. And by means of everyone else too, even the knuckleheads that you know in your life. Even they are the perfect expression of the Most High, seeking their own understanding of what that means in conscious, and certainly we can do this in unconscious ways as well, yes? Or is that just me again? So Dr. Maureen had a workshop some time ago called The Unconscious Invitation, that we unknowingly create situations. Has anyone ever had an issue that it seems like we thought it was healed and then oh crap, this thing's back again, right? And then we go a couple years maybe and then we realize, oh, this is just this same thing again, right? That there's this, appears to be this unconscious component where we create dynamics in our life that continue to demonstrate this same seeming challenge, even if it's, let's say, reformulated, less intense, right? That the duration it's less strong in a shorter duration. But when we're honest with ourselves, when we're bringing self-awareness and consciousness to that examination, we see, oh, it's that not enough thing showing up again, or whatever it is. But really, it's probably that, which is a hard thing to admit. At least I think it is. So Holmes taught that we are part of the same universal consciousness, and therefore, Holding on to feelings of blame or animosity towards others creates a sense of separation. What does that mean? We're not in the universal consciousness, or at least we feel we're always in the universal consciousness of life, but we are setting borders, right, that keep us held bound to whatever thought paradigm we've created for ourselves. And this is not ordained by the Spirit, by the way. It's a reflection of our own individualized understanding of this Spirit, of this law of life. And this sense of blame or animosity can be directed to ourselves, right? In many ways, right? We lose a job, a relationship ends, maybe we're at this point in our life where we thought, wow, well, I really thought this would look a lot different than it is. And we're trying to make all that fit and still be spiritual and happy and joyous and free. But on the inside, there's this sense of, well, just a hole, a longing. And what we're longing for is connection. What we're longing for is to feel that conscious connection with this one universal presence by whatever name you give it and by whatever understanding that you have of it. So Holmes, you say, call it life, call it love. Why not call it love? Right? We get way too hung up on names of God anyway, yeah? And even in our teaching, right, we come up with things like, first cause, universal mind, these kind of abstract concepts. But still there's this longing to have this feeling connection with this power and presence of which, as soon as we put words on it, we are limiting it in some way. And we know this intellectually, and still we do it. And so what happens then, our heart gets broken open in some way, and we have a deeper understanding. Now, hopefully, our heart is being broken open from inspiration. That's happened to me like once, right? Usually it's something else. Usually it's something that I really don't want. But this is actually the good news. So Reverend Nancy herself told me one time, Mike, because I told, this doesn't work. She goes, well, what are you talking about? I said, well, I keep doing this spiritual mind treatment, and I'm doing my meditation, and I'm keeping my thoughts positive and working with affirmations, and still, look at this. I'm not getting it. She said, Mike, there's nothing wrong with your consciousness. Look at all this bullshit you're demonstrating here. You have a mighty consciousness, my man. Actually, I don't think she used that word. But that's the way I heard it. So what's the way out of this little riddle? What's the way out of this sometimes trap, of course, is forgiveness. Right? Forgiveness acknowledges our interconnectedness with life and promotes a sense of unity and oneness with others. And even more importantly, promotes a sense of interconnectedness and unity within ourselves. Right? So we have some seeming challenge that we're working with, but we know that the Spirit is everywhere present. So let's say the Spirit is, we have this challenge, there's a Spirit, and yet this challenge is casting a shadow, right, within our whole gig, right? But here's the thing, right? We're not just simply working with psychological things. We're not simply working to alter brain chemistry, even though these are all interesting things and play a part. What we're working with is consciousness. And knowing that there is the light of the Most High available at all times. It is that aspect within us that's never been violated in any way, that we get a sense of, right? Like, it's almost like star jasmine on a spring evening where you want to go looking for it, right? It's like calling you, come hither, my love. Come hither, right? It's an experience that we really can't put words to, and yet we know it happens. And this is where the power is. This is where the juice is. This is where the creative impulse of life can, when we allow ourselves to open up and to allow this light into our consciousness, that the shadow is lightened. It's still there, but it now becomes more integrated. Now, this is not from a place of a lack of self-awareness. We're not playing let's pretend it's all gone. Isn't that great? It's a very conscious act, this act of self-forgiveness. So in 12-step, they talk about, you cannot give away something you haven't got. Right? It's very difficult to love if you have unhealed stuff, if you have unhealed insecurities. And these insecurities can be very subtle, particularly as we get older, because we become really good at slathering on more paint, right? We keep putting lipstick on the pig over and over again, right? And yet through meditation, through our treatment work, through working with a practitioner, through our willingness to become authentic, to bring the power of awareness to our understanding of life, all of this gets peeled back. And the beauty of that then is that we can embrace the so-called imperfections as the perfection of our humanity. As we become gentle with ourselves, right? So the master teacher said, forgive us our sins as we forgive those who have what? Trespassed against us. So forgive us our resentments to the extent that I can forgive those who I have resentments to. How many times? 70 times 7. Or in other words, you keep working with it till you're done. And that's kind of a, oh crap kind of moment. Am I right? Yeah. But here's the thing. If we can come at these things knowing that there is that within us, the indwelling spirit is within us, constantly infusing us with ways of thinking, with ways of being, right? With ways of being gentle versus harsh, with ways of being receptive versus bound, of ways of learning to be courageous in our expressions of love and creativity. We find that there is a connectedness to life that is supporting us in intuitive ways. We're not even really consciously inviting it anymore. We just feel one with life. And this is what it means to live in the overflow. The only thing that has changed is our perception and our willingness to allow a deeper awareness and as fully a realized embrace of the divine as we can muster, one day at a time, one moment at a time, forgiving ourselves for the moments when we fall short, not pretending, but just going, well, I could have done that better. Shoot, I cussed again on the platform. Well, clearly you can see I don't really care much about that, but there you go. But it's like an exclamation point sometimes. Because what we're looking for really is freedom and empowerment, right? That this science of mind philosophy, Holmes wrote some time ago, that ultimately, as we use spiritual practice to inform our life, and that we practice bringing that information into our life, that ultimately we shall see that the universe rests on the shoulders of love. That God is love, and that all the errors of people are the result of the ignorance of our own true nature. There's another guy who said that like 2,500 years ago, right? Our pal Siddhartha, right? That an evolved soul judges no one, condemns no one, but realizes that all are on the road of experience seeking the same goal, and that each of us must ultimately find our home in heaven. Remembering, again, that heaven and hell are not places, but rather aspects of consciousness. That each of us is working, striving in ways, hopefully in conscious ways, but even in unconscious ways, to find our way to heaven. The interconnectedness of life, the creative power, the impulse of life, expressing that place of courage and resilience within that allows us to really to unleash the spirit and to allow it to express more fully in our life as our life, right? Setting aside any old hangovers of, oh Lord, I am not worthy to receive you, but instead stepping into, oh Lord, I am now willing that you take all of me, right? Use me, oh Lord, I stand for you. So let's take a deep breath. And thinking back to that person in the mirror in our little exercise earlier, to see what she or he had to say to you this morning. Whatever that little chink in the armor was, and to instead compose in our minds right now an affirmation of the opposite of that. The truth is that we are enough. The truth is that we live in an abundant universe. The truth is that we are radiantly healthy now. That we are inviting the infinite power and presence, infinite, that's a lot, the infinite power and presence to infuse itself through the body temple, through the affairs of our financial expressions, for our careers, for our love relationships. And really, they are all love relationships. That we allow ourselves now to stand in the courage of its full expression. To practice doing that through the rest of this day. Maybe if you have the day off tomorrow, to practice doing it tomorrow. Take it through your work week then and see how things are different.
Give me this day my daily bread. Help me to walk alone ahead. Though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no love. Oh, my smile, my mind, reassure me I don't need no one. Woke up this morning with my mind set on loving me, with my mind set on loving me. I'm not lonely, I'm alone. I am holy by my
in this moment, recognizing and knowing that we are one with the infinite power and presence of the Most High. That there is that flame of the divine within, the indwelling spirit, that we are allowing it now to have its breath, to allow it to shed its light in every aspect of our being. That this light is no longer being held under a bushel basket. No, we are allowing it to shine its radiance, its creativity, its strength, its come-hitherness through our life. That we are now open and receptive to embrace a full and complete healing of body, mind, and spirit that up until now may have felt has eluded us in some way, that we are knowing that this power is not the least bit interested in all of our reasons and machinations of how it can't be for me, and instead says, "Come, my beloved, in you I am well pleased." So we allow the Spirit to have its way with us today. So much so that a change has taken place that is obvious, easy and obvious to those around us. And we just let it be so. Together we acknowledge this by saying, "And so it is."
Woke up this morning with my mind set on loving me. I woke up this morning with my mind set on loving me. I'm not lonely, I'm alone. I am holy by my own. No, no, I'm not lonely, I'm alone. I am holy by my own. I woke up this morning with my mind set on loving me. With my mind set on loving me.
All right, now hold your arms out wide. Give yourself a big old hug. Turn to your neighbor and said, "I am so in love with me." There, how does that feel? Does that feel a little more real? Yeah. All right, good. All right, Chloe, you want to bring us up a basket? We're going to take a moment now to practice generosity. If you've come prepared today with a gift, great. If not, that's okay. And also for those of you joining us online, if you could take a moment to continue in your support of our service. So when you're ready, just come on forward.
Spirit gives through me, Spirit receives through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me. Yeah, Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit gives through us, Spirit receives through us, Spirit lives and breathes through us. Oh, Spirit lives and breathes through us.
So going within for just a moment longer, let's take a breath as we recognize that this basket represents both the generous heart of the individual and the receptive heart of this spiritual community. The generous heart that gives by many avenues, either through the mail, through online giving, through PayPal, through your gifts here this morning. The receptive heart of this community as we accept these gifts with deep love and respect, as we know together they go forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless not only this center, but anyone connected to it in any way. So from this place of gratitude now, we extend a blessing on our community of Granada Hills, our city of Los Angeles, our state of California, our United States of America, all of its churches, temples, mosques, schools, universities, the people who attend them, the people who support them, that we know for the world itself, that all of it is an expression from the creative impulse of life itself. And to the extent that we know this to be so, we see its full and complete demonstration in ways great and small. This lifts our heart. We feel a sense of power and grace that propel us into ways of spiritual living that raise not only our own life, but the lives of those around us as well. And that's a good thing. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. Amen. So let's give Teresa James a little love, shall we? Give her some love on the chat. You probably, do you ever go on there and look? They're saying nice things about you behind your back. All right. And so it's great having you all here with us today. It's good having you with us online. If this is your first time joining us, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And you can see me here, along with some of our friends on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. for our Get Real and Heal meditation service. But until then, we have the wonderful Reverend Nancy Woods to pray us out with a short spiritual mind treatment. And we'll see you next week. Happy Labor Day. All right. That was so enthusiastic.
Short, huh? How about it's short?
For you.
Oh, it is with the consciousness of gratitude that we acknowledge that love is the cornerstone of life, and that as we have been gifted with this awareness in a greater and more expanded way, we say thank you. And together we acknowledge that we love ourselves truly and fully and completely. And we let go and allow the divine to guide and direct every step, thought, and word. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. That was short? I did already.
Y'all help me sing this song, okay?